everyone, Pete Coman here at Integrate 2019 in Melbourne, and I'm on the Extron stand with Damien Hiscock. Welcome, Damien. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Peter.
Now, you debuted this product, the NAV, at last year's Integrate. You had a sneak peek.
Last year was a technical sneak peek, yeah.
But we did get to see it.
We did get to see it,
yes.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So this year it's fully released. It's available for purchase now.
We're publicly showing it. Everyone can look at it. The product is in its final stages of just tweaking some firmware things. We are shipping some product,
yes.
But the official release is going to be very soon. Early in the new year, everyone will be able to get access to it. So
fantastic,
absolutely.
Fantastic. So what is unique about the NAV? Why should people go out and buy this? Because let's face it, AV over IP, there's a lot of different flavors out there. Nothing really talks to each other. What is so special about the Extron NAV?
So Extron developed the codec specifically for Pro AV applications. So it's not an off-the-shelf codec. It's not a JPEG 2000, not a H.264. So this one here is basically designed to be able to handle motion video without any artifacts, as well as keeping all the fine details there. So a lot of competitors and codecs run in subsample color and things like that, where we lose the fine detail.
Yes.
So our one here runs at 444.
Right.
So we
so
keep
this
it.
is 4K.
This is all 4K 444 all the way
nice.
through. And we can do up to 60 frames. And the codec, one of the nice things, the way that the codec works is how efficient it is in its data rate. So we've got, gives you very good quality, as well as we can cap it at exactly, if you've only got, on a 1 gig solution, if you've only got 600 meg available, we can limit it exactly at 600 meg, and it will never go above that. But at the same time, if it's like low motion and static, the data rate drops right down and only processes what it needs. So static content might only be passing 10, 20 meg sort of data
That's
rates.
what's unique about the Pure 3 processor.
Absolutely. And the other nice part about it is the way it breaks it down into smaller blocks, and it compares the blocks and sends it. So it doesn't need to wait for an entire frame to come in to compress.
So it's not refreshing every frame.
It's not refreshing every frame. So it does send a few frames as references, but basically it only sends the information that changes, and because we don't have to wait for a whole frame, it minimizes latency. So we're sub-frame latency.
Okay. Can we have a look at some of these boxes?
Absolutely.
Right. So what do you've got a number of boxes here. I know that some of the other players in the market have a transceiver where it can be a transmitter or receiver, but you've got dedicated encoders and decoders.
Absolutely. So we've got, there's two series. We've got a 1 gig and a 10 gig variety. So 1 gig's on copper, 10 gigs on fiber. The nice part about those two is that the codec in the background is exactly the same. It's just the maximum data rate that box can handle. So you could have a 10 gig solution in a room and have a 1 gig overflow for the odd occasion, and all you need to do is programmatically just tell it to drop the data rate below 1 gig, and you can receive it on any of the 1 gig solutions.
Fantastic.
So the 101 in the 1 gig and 10 gig give you the HDMI in with analog audio embedded straight out, and then we've got a 501. So the 501 just adds a few more features in there that is Ethernet extension as well as USB. So USB 2 extension, we've popped it on a USB-C connector because that allows you to dictate whether it's a host or peripheral at any location. You're not locked into a host at the transmitter or encoder. So yeah, you can set it up whatever your application requires.
And you mentioned that the copper version is 1 gig. Are you looking at supporting 10 gig in the not too distant future on copper?
Not sure yet. Because they've been developing this for quite a while and making sure it was right at the time the decision was made that 10 gig copper wasn't really a thing at the time, so it was only fiber. Now 10 gig copper is something there. Being an SFP, there's nothing stopping you taking the fiber SFP out and putting a copper one in there, so you could run it on 10 gig copper if the requirement was there. But I think the efficiency of the codec and the content, if you're just running it at 4K, I think the 1 gig is going to suit a lot of applications. So the transition to 10 gig, you may not need that benefit today, because 10 gig infrastructure is quite costly. But the nice part about that codec's that efficient that when we go up to 8K and put 8K chipsets in this, we can then make use of that 10 gig available bandwidth and comfortably pass 8K content.
Fantastic. Excellent. Damien, thanks again for your time. For more information, head to extron.com.